So once I learned this perspective, my life really changed forever. My perspective completely changed about people, circumstances, money, relationships, love, family, everything. But let me bring y'all back to a time when this is all that I was thinking about. I just didn't know why I was saying it. It was one of those subconscious things that, source, God just, planted within me. And that's the complete attachment to the unknown. You know, my mom and I, we stayed together, right? We lived together for the first, decade of my life, and I would go see my dad in New York, every summer, because that's where he lived, and it was just my mom and I, and I was the only child, no other sibling, seeing my cousins every so often, but it was my mom and my meemaw, which is her mom, and we had great times. We had amazing times. And my mom, she's a great mother. Always has been a great mother. And yes, she attempted to, shield a lot of things from me, like not she didn't want me to feel what she was feeling when it come to like bills and responsibilities and work and, you know, things that would upset her and stuff like that. But, it's my mama and I'm around a lot of women. I'm around my mama all the time. So I see and hear the microaggressions. I see and hear what she's saying without saying it. Her undertone, right? And and any y'all who can relate to this, you understand like, you pick up on subtle energy shifts, subtle undertones from people because it's like, I was by myself, right? I was alone. I was the only child. So I had to use my imagination. I liked Hot Wheels. I like trains. I like cars. I like dancing. I liked music. Chris Brown, Bow Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I would be in my room, basketball, sports, of course. I'd be in my room like playing and shit, and I would remember that I would always go in my mom's room to like check up on her. And sometimes I wouldn't even say anything. I just like walk out my room randomly and just go look in her room and then walk right back out. And even when I was in high school, I did the same exact thing. I would like walk in my mama's room, look at her, see what she's doing, and just walk right out. She'd be like, "What you want? Like, what's up?" And I'd just be like, "Nothing." And I just walk right out, And that was just to like, you know, check up on her. And I'm giving y'all this story to say, there was a lot of times when, of course, when I got older, she would become more vocal with things, and I I started having some things to say. I've always been an upfront, honest kid. I wasn't gonna say too much because a lot of people, most people, till to this day, I realize can't handle it. But I wouldn't come out like what I'm saying is the ultimate truth and is fucking golden, and you could go to the bank and cash it. But at the same time, I know what I see because I'm not seeing it. AKA my ego is not seeing it. The observer, my spirit is feeling it. And that has no feelings. None. Okay? And so there were some points in time when she would say something like she would just be, venting, talking, and I'd be like, "Ma, we gonna be all right. Like, Ma, we gonna be good. It's all good, Ma." Mind you, I'm like 7. I'm 6. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 8. And I'm saying these things to her in the same tone that I just said, like, "Ma, we gonna be okay. We gonna be good, Ma. It's all right." And then the more I kept saying that throughout the years, she was like, "Why you keep saying that? Like it's not okay." Like, obviously I'm like 10, 11 at the time, I'm getting older, wiser, more mature. So I'm realizing, or I'm not realizing that the responsibilities, the bills and the food on the table and work, people at work, and she dealing with racial things going on at work, and her being one of the only black women in these fields, you know, and she is very accredited. She has a lot of accolades. She got a lot of diplomas. My mama got a big rap sheet. she got a big rap sheet, and she is decorated in diplomas and awards. Okay. And I didn't realize this until a couple years. I said to myself, wait a minute. Why was I saying this even back then? Like telling my mama, like, I wasn't telling her that to please her. Like, we gonna be good, Ma. I wasn't telling her that for that reason. I was telling that because I really believed it. I really felt that. You know? And it really hit me 2024. I know why I said that. Because what most people can't see, I have the ability to see and hear. It's all going to be great. It's all going to be good. Why? Because it already is. It's like I made up my mind. And I'll make a separate video on this, but speaking about the law of assumption, boom, that's it. The law of assumption. I just assumed. I've always had this natural knowingness that even in the midst of confusion, in the midst of what am I going to do next? Where am I going? How am I going to do where is this coming from? Keep the main thing the main thing. Don't change up who you are, but keep sharpening your tools. Keep sharpening yourself. Keep reading, keep meditating, keep writing, and writing some more. Keep the main thing so you are fresh. So when it comes, oh my gosh, you are ultra prepared. You say you want a new car, right? You don't like the car you got right now. I got too many problems. And let's say you in the house, you got a 2-car garage. On one side, you got a golf cart, and the other side, you got your car. You got to take one of those vehicles out the garage so your new car that you want can go in there. AKA, you have to be ready for, you have to have the space ready for a new object to enter. If it has no place to go, where are you going to put it? So I just assume, okay, stay ready. Look, take for instance right now, okay? I got a TV. I don't have no TV in my bedroom. I don't even watch TV like that. I don't watch TV shows. I barely watch movies. Okay, I don't watch none of that. I have another desk over there. That's with my bookshelf, more books where I write, meditate, do other things. That's not work related. This is my other space where obviously I work, stream, record, all of that. That's it. I don't have no couch. I don't have no other furniture. I got 2 chairs, 2 desks, a TV stand, a bed. That's it. Why? Because I know what's on its way. I know what's on its way for me. So when I move out of here, what Erykah Badu say? Pack light. You may never know, but Source does. Source knows. Source knows when you're ready, and Source knows when it's ready. And when I move out of here, I'm not even gonna need a U-Haul. Okay? I'm just gonna be so ready and prepared because my next spot, complete elevation. My next car, complete elevation. And I'm well aware of that. But guess what? I'm still polishing and sharpening and taking care of the shit that I have right now. My house looks great. It looks great. It's clean. My tub ain't clean right now. But My house is clean. My kitchen's clean. My bedroom's clean. My space over there is clean. All of this over here, clean. Together. It's tidy. Okay? It's polished. So, this is what I understood. Slow is fast. Slower is the fastest speed, JB, because that's longevity. Take what you've been doing, right? Your occupation. Let's say you really like it. You really have fun doing it. Let's say you're in year 5. You are sharpening your skills so much. Yeah, you may have not gotten the promotion you wanted yet. You may have not gotten the upgrade, the space. You're still in a small ass cubicle. You don't have your own room yet, your own office space yet. You don't got that yet. It's all in the language you speak. But the more slower and detailed you become with your process, that's what they're neglecting. The more you're detailed with that, is the further you're going. Is the further you're going to go. It's metaphysics. When you don't rush nothing, look at this figure. That's why I put this up today. When you don't rush anything and you imagine everything that you want to achieve as already completed, you are now in the future tense, but the future tense is still present. You are in the present future tense. You are not in the past future tense. That's you being over here, you rushing. You rushing to do too much. You stressing. You worrying about the money. You worrying about the apartment. You worrying about the crib. You worrying about your new car, where it's going to go, how it's going to fit. You worrying about the people in your life who you haven't talked to in years. You ain't got no friends. You're worrying about that. But worrying, guilt, regret, resentment is pushing things away. It's repelling things away from you. That's also what I had to learn. Okay? But once I learned this perspective, slower is the fastest speed. Oh man, I'm not rushing nothing. And guess what? I'm still practicing it more and more intensely because this is a familial and generational cycle that I have to break from every single day. Like, you know that feeling when you're in a house full of people and you just feel like you got to do something. You can't just be sitting around because they're going to think you lazy. They're going to talk bad about you. They're going to, bad mouth you. So every time there's no rest. You got to be doing something. Even if it's nothing, you still got to be doing something. You're putting your phone in different spots. You're moving shit around. You're lining stuff up in your room. Gonna do the dishes. They got 2 plates up in there. 2 plates. Cleaning up the bathroom, moving shit around. Relax. It'll be there tomorrow, next week, next month. When your nervous system is at a calmer place, then that's when, you know what? I'm gonna clean all of this shit. And I'm gonna make fun out of it. I'm gonna make it playful. But not because I feel the energy of you gotta do it because you can't be in this house sitting around doing nothing. Like older grandparents would say, if you're not going to school or you ain't getting a job, you gotta get up out my house. 18, you gotta go. You now an adult at 18. Wow. Think about that. Think about how young 21 is. 18 and 21 is really the same age. And that's a statistic. That's a psychological study. Between the ages of 18 and really like 22, you are the same age. From 23 to 27, same age. But that's another video. Okay? Calm your spirits. You are exactly where you need to be. You haven't learned what you needed to yet because you have not been open enough to receive it. So even if you had the perfect teacher, the greatest instructor to help you and guide you through the shit, you are not ready. And my philosophy is when you are ready to learn, for real, when you are sick and tired of the shit that you have put yourself through and endured, unintentionally and intentionally, when you are sick and tired, then that's when you'll change. So when you are ready to learn, the right teacher will show up. The right teacher will show up. And that's when you'll soak up the insight. You'll soak up the knowledge. And then guess what? You'll realize that a lot of things that this person is telling you, you already knew. You just forgot along the way because the road got foggy in transit. The road got frustrating. It got confusing. It got convoluted with other people's opinions, other people's thoughts, how you should live, how you should be, how you should talk, how you should, where you should live. Like, you shouldn't move out. You shouldn't get your passport. You shouldn't be doing this at 21. You shouldn't be doing this because you're too young. You shouldn't. So when a teacher comes, you're going to come to a place when you sit back and you be like, wait, I needed this other person to tell me what to do in order to do it? Yes, you did actually. You did. You did. Maybe now you don't, but you have to go through that tunnel. You have to go through that tunnel of darkness, and then when you get to the end, you see the light, and then it's like, oh, okay, cool. But slow is fast, y'all. When you just sit and you calm your nerves, and it's not about inactivity. I don't want y'all to think it's about being inactive, like, oh, I'm sitting here doing nothing, and I just think things are gonna come to me. That's also what a lot of like business owners and people who push certain agendas, that's what they always throw on the table. That's their cards. Like, you gotta move, like you gotta go. You know, these alpha men and that's their whole spiel. Like, you gotta move. Like, you gotta get up, get off your ass, and every single waking second, you gotta be on it. You gotta be. Now, that serves a purpose. It does. But for how long, though? What's the duration? Can't work hard forever. But you can work smart forever. Because that's this. It's this right here. That's smart. And then I'm going to use the other percentage of my physical stature, my fire, which is my desire. Shout out Tina Marie. I'm going to use that to literally just get up. It's like if I know that I have mail in my mailbox, the mailman is not gonna come in my house. He doesn't have the keys to my crib. He's not gonna open my shit and then put the mail right on my desk so I see it when I wake up. No, I gotta get up, go to the mailbox, and then come back. That's exactly what slower is faster. That's what that shit means. But you know something's coming. You know something is on its way. You just gotta be present. You gotta be there to receive it. I love y'all, man. Make sure y'all just be simple. Join the Patreon. Hit me up on Instagram, The Real Jaden Banks, for any other video topics, suggestions, video topics. I love y'all. Take care of yourself, man. It's your boy JB. And I'm out.